Hi kids! Hello everyone! Welcome back to Mathematics for Humanity, episode number 5. And in this episode, we're going to deal with basics on the multiplication of whole numbers and integers. By the way, whole numbers are the counting numbers that we know, and integers are just the positive and negative numbers that we talked about in the previous uh, episodes. By the way, please don't forget to share this video to help others. So we start with translating words to mathematical equivalence. For example, you have here this one. 7 times 4 is 28, or 7 times 4 is equal to 28, o 7 por 4 kay 28. The mathematical equivalent for that is this one. 7 times 4 equals 28. The next one here, what is the product of 19 and negative 5? So when you say product, it's also multiplication. So you have here an equivalent of two mathematical expressions. You have 19 times negative 5 equals, and the other one is negative 5 times 19 equals. The next one is, what is minus 12 multiplied by minus 21? Or what is negative 12 multiplied by negative 21? So here's the mathematical equivalent. They are just the same. They are the same. So negative 12 times negative 21 equals, or you can put a parenthesis here, times negative 21, also inside a parenthesis. Or this one, you may forget the parenthesis too. You can also write it like this way, or this way, or this way without the symbol X. So those are just equivalent mathematical statements for the text or the words on the left. The product of 9 and 13 is equal to 117. Or you can say that 9 times 13 here, 9 times 13 is equal to 117. Or because it's, you say it's a product, so you can put 9 and 13 in any order. So you can say that 13 times 9, or 13 times 9 here. This is a different symbol for multiplication, a dot at the center. So that's still equal to 117. So what is multiplication? By the way, when you hear these words, so when you hear these keywords, times, product, multiplied, you are going to do multiplication. So what is multiplication? Multiplication is symbolized by this. So I've used this in the previous, you can either, in the previous slide, you can either use this one, times, or dot, or space, or parenthesis, or asterisk. Asterisk is used rarely. Actually, it's used in advanced mathematics, but commonly we use this one. We commonly use this one, and that one. So what is multiplication? Multiplication is the act of replicating one number a number of specified times, or the act of recreating one number a number of specified times. So later we will know how it's done, and it's also um, repeated addition. It also means repeated addition, in which a number is added to zero over and over again for a specified number of times. So we will tackle more on that in the next slide. So consider this. Mario has 5 baskets of fruits containing 12 pieces in each one. What do you think is the best question for this problem? Is it this one? How many does he have? This question is so vague because how many does he have? Is it how many baskets does he have, or how many fruits does he have? So you have to be, again, specific in what you're asking for in a problem. Next one is, how many avocados does he have? The problem or the statement above did not mention avocado, but only mentions fruits. So this is not a good question. The third one is, how many pieces of fruits does he have? This one is the most suitable question for the statement above. How many pieces of fruits does he have? And all you have to do is just multiply 5 times 12 for that. Next one, we're going to discuss simple rules of multiplication. So here you have the number 0. If multiplied to a number, or if multiplied by a number, always results to 0. So you have 100 times 0 is equal to 0. And then 0 times negative 78,456,231 is still equal to 0. So it's so simple if you multiply 0, because the result is always 0. For example, negative 6 times 0 is just 0. And then you have 0 times 25 is also 0, and 0 times 97 is also 0. By the way, I have written the symbol for multiplication, or how the multiplication is written mathematically. They're all equivalent. I mean, they all mean the same thing. This one, the parenthesis, the dot, this one means multiplication as well. Rule number 2. The number 1, if multiplied to, or if multiplied by a number, gives the same number. This is rule number 2. So if you have 1 equals negative 63, that's the same. So if you multiply negative 42 by 1, that's negative 42. And then 1 times 91,546, that still gives the same number. And 1 times negative 23 is negative 23. And then 49 times 1 is also 49. and then when you have 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. You can see from here that all the numbers multiplied to 1 are just the same number that results in the multiplication. The third rule is, in any order, the product of two or more numbers is always the same. So when you multiply 123 by 5, it's the same as multiplying 5 by 123. Or 34 times negative 23 is just negative 23 times 34. Or negative 7 times 9 is just negative 9 times 7. Or if you have three numbers multiplied, like this one, you have 82, negative 43, and 15, you can interchange the order. You can say, for example, retain 82 and then you exchange 15 and negative 43. Here you also put 15 in front and then negative 43 in the middle and then negative 82 on the left, on the right, I mean. In this case, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers being multiplied. So you can also rearrange them such that you write the positive here in front, I mean on the right or on the left, and then the three negative numbers here. And here you have how many numbers you are being multiplied here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you have 9 numbers there being multiplied. So you can rearrange them so that 1 you write here, and then the 2 you write here, and then the 3 you write here, and then the 4 you write here, and the 5 you also write here, and then negative 1 here, and then negative 2 here, negative 3 here, and negative 4 here. So I hope you understand that rule. In any order, the product of two numbers is always the same. The fourth rule is, if one number is multiplied to another number, then the first number must be added to 0 repeatedly by the number of times specified by the second number. So in this example, here you have 2 times 3, that is equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus, you have 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So you have 2. You can forget about the 0 because that's nothing. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. Now for the second one, you have 4 times negative 5. That is also negative 5 times 4 because the order you can interchange as we presented in rule number 3. So here you have, so this should be equal to 0 plus negative 5, negative 5, plus negative 5, plus negative 5 4 times. So you have 0, or you can forget about the 0. So when you add negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5, that's just negative 20. You review the rules of addition of negative numbers in the previous episode, and you get here negative 20. Then the next one is 0 times 6. 0 times 6 is equal to 0 plus 0, 6 zeros, plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. And 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is just equal to 0. So 0 multiplied to a number is always 0. You have here in the next one 87 times 0. So here you have 0 plus, you don't have the number of times that 87 has to be added to 0 because you are multiplying 0, so you're adding nothing. So 0 plus nothing is just equal to nothing, or 0. It's the same thing as here. So 0 plus nothing, and nothing is equal to 0, so it's all 0. So if you multiply a number to 0, is always 0. And then the next example here is 1 times negative 9. Again, you can write this as negative 9 times 1, so you have 0 plus negative 9 is added 1 time to 0, so you have 0 minus 9 equals negative 9. So there's a question here. How about multiplying negative 5 to negative 4? So my answer is, don't be too excited. In a while, we will see how to do that. So let's take these examples, ejemplos. Multiply 3 times 4 here. So you have 0 plus, you have to add 3 4 times, 1 2 3 4 times. So that's 0 plus this 3 here. The 3 here is added and it becomes 6 here. And then you're left with 2 3s here. Then you will add again in this side of the equation. You add 3 and 6, that's equal to 9, and then you're left with 1 3, and 3 plus 9 is equal to 12. So 3 times 4 is equal to 12. How about 4 times 3? So here you have 4 times 3 is equal to 0, and then you add 4 3 times, and then that's equal to this 4, this 2 4s here you add is equal to 12. You can forget about the 0. You may not write the 0, but it's necessary there that you have to put at the beginning. And then 4 plus 8 is equal to 12. So look at this. 4 times 3 is equal to 3 times 4, which is equal to 12. I told you that in the rule, in any order, you can multiply two numbers and the result is still the same. So how about this? 5 times negative 8. So in any order, you can also do negative 8 times 5. And so that's 0. And then you add negative 8 5 times. 4, 5. Then this 8 plus negative 8 will just be equal to 16. And then 8 plus 16 will just be equal to 24. And then negative 8, in this line you have negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 8 plus negative 16 is negative 24. And then on this line you have negative 8 plus 24 is equal to negative 32. And then you have finally here negative 8 plus negative 32 is equal to negative 40. And so 5 times negative 8 is equal to 40. Of course, this is also equal to negative 8 times 5, negative 40. So both are equal. So let's go to the next one. But before we do that, we have to clean this one. Okay. And then we have multiplying a negative number. This time there's a trick here, because we knew that multiplying a number is like repeated addition. But for a negative number, it is repeated subtraction, in which a number is subtracted to 0 for a specified number of times. For example, you have here 5 times negative 8, so you have 0, and then you subtract 5 8 times, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 times. So you can write this as, in the previous lecture, you know that we can write this as 0 plus negative 5 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 plus negative 5. And then the last 5 here is just equal to negative 10. And the 5 and the negative 5 and negative 10 will just be 15. And then negative 5 plus negative 15 will just be negative 20. And the negative 5 plus negative 20 will just be negative 25. And the negative 5 plus negative 25 will just be negative 30. And the negative 5 plus negative 30 will just be negative 35. And the negative 5 plus negative 30 is just equal to negative 40. So here you have the other way of doing this. So it's still the same. This means that you can do repeated subtraction or repeated addition. Here now you have the conclusion here is that when a positive number is multiplied by a negative number, the product is a negative number. Now let's go to the next one, but before that we'll have to clean this so that when we go back it's already clean. So multiplying a negative number by a negative number. So again, we do repeated subtraction. So for example, you have negative 5 times negative 8. So you have to subtract negative 5 8 times. And minus negative 5, 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 minus negative 5 8 times. But then this one, in the previous lecture, you can write this as positive 5. And so with this one, this one, negative 5, and then you also have a negative 5, positive 5. And for all the rest, you can write plus 5. Plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. So you're adding 5 8 times. So you have you can pair this up. 5 and 5 is 10. This 2 5 is another 10. This 2 5 is another 10. This 2 5 is another 10. So you have 10 plus 10 plus 10 is equal to 40. So therefore you have this. So when a negative number is multiplied by a negative number, the product is a positive number. So here we did this earlier. 5 times negative 8 is negative 40. And then of course you have just a while ago, negative 5 times negative 8 is 40. This is also the same as 5 times negative 8 is 40. And here you can do this also, and this is just equal to negative 5 times negative 8 is just equal to negative 40. So we will now recast the multiplication rules. Any number multiplied to or by 0 is always resulting to 0. That's rule number 1. Any number multiplied by 1 gives that same number. That's rule number 2. Then rule number 3, we have the product of 2 or more numbers multiplied by any or in any order is always the same. If number 4, if a number is multiplied by a positive number, then the first number must be added to 0 repeatedly by the number of times specified by the positive number. And then you have the last rule is, if a number is multiplied by a negative number, then the first number must be subtracted to 0 repeatedly by the number of times specified by the negative number. So that's the rule now. And the 6th rule is that from here, from this note here, from this note, we have the 6th rule. The products of two positive numbers is positive, and the product of a negative and positive number is negative, and the product of positive and negative number is negative, and then the product of two negative numbers is positive. Remember this. This is very important. This one is important. So let's proceed. So let's explore that rule. So if you have, how many numbers are being multiplied here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have a positive number, the next one is a negative, the third one is a positive, the fourth one is negative, the fifth one is positive, the sixth one is positive, and the seventh is negative. So this one, the product is negative, and the product of these two is negative, and then the product of these two is positive, and the product of these two is positive, and then the product of these two is negative, and the product of these two is negative. So you have, no matter how many numbers you multiplied, the prevailing sign, if you have odd numbers of negative signs, it will result to a negative sign. You just multiply it slowly and then you get the final sign. So for example, you have here 5 positive numbers being multiplied. So this 2 will result to a positive number. And then this 2 will result to a positive number. And then this 2 will result to a positive one. And then this 2 will result to a positive one. So finally you have positive numbers. So if you multiply positive numbers, all positive numbers, that's resulting to a positive number. So here you have three negative numbers being multiplied. So you have here this 2 will result into a positive number, and then this 2 will result to a negative number. Then here you have 6 numbers being multiplied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this 2 will result to a positive one, and then this 2 will result to a negative one, and then this 2 will result to a positive one, and then this 2 will result to a negative one, and finally you have negative and negative being multiplied will result to a positive one. So when you have even number of negative numbers being multiplied, you have your final result is a positive number. So here you can also rearrange this in this particular example. Here you have how many numbers here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 3 positive numbers and you have 4 negative numbers. You can also do that. So this one here, since there are 1, 2, 3, 4 negative numbers, that will result to a positive, and then you have positive times positive times positive is also positive, and then you have finally a positive number as a result. Okay, next, multiply by using coin representation. So a coin has 2 sides. The other side you can call positive side, and the other is negative side, and then the blue one is the negative, represents the negative numbers, and then the red ones are the positive numbers. And then you have this as 0, empty, between an empty space between 2 parentheses is equal to 0. So let's take a look at this. 6 times 3 is this one. I'm using the red because 6 is positive and 3 is positive. So you have 6 here and then 3 here. So 6 times 3 is just equal to 0 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. And then you have here 0. And then you have here the first 6, the second 6, and the third 6. So you put them all together. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you can also do this. It takes time, but it doesn't matter for as long as you get the correct answer. 6 times 3 therefore is equal to 18. So let's clean before we proceed to the next slide. Okay, here, how about 4 times negative 5? Here you have a positive number represented by the 4 circles, red circles, and then you have a negative number, negative 5, which is represented by the blue circle. So you have here 0, and then you have the red ones turn into blue because you are multiplying a negative number. So it turns into blue. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you have, since these are colored blue, you have negative 20. So 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And this is also equal to negative 5 times 4, or this is also equal to 5 times negative 4. Okay, I hope you understand that. And then you have negative 4 times negative 5. Here you have negative 4. You have, sorry, it's supposed to be 4, only 4. 4, and then you have negative 5 here. So you will have, since you're multiplying negative 5, so that's minus, 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 and minus here. And then, but if you change the sign here, you have to change the color, just like what we did here. So we are multiplying, this is adding, and this is the color red here are changed in this line, because we are multiplying a negative number. So here we have negative number, and then we change the sign, we turn the blue into red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you combine all of them, and then you still have 20, because it's all red now. So you have negative 4 times negative 5 is equal to 20. But 4 times 5 is also 20. So let's proceed. Let's proceed to the, this one is multiplication by crossing sticks. So let's start with, let's do this. This is a little tricky, but it's not that difficult. So for example, we have 5 times 7. What is this? So we can draw sticks, for example. So we can draw 5 sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sticks. Then we draw 7 sticks. 5 times 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So anyway, this is, we can erase this and just write 7 here. 7. And then you have, you can also erase this and just write 5 here. So let's count the intersections of these two lines. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So 5 times 7 equals 35. And of course, this is also equal to 7 times 5 equals 35. I hope you got it. The next example would be, so we erase all of these and then we proceed with the next. Here you have, how about -3 and 6? So you multiply -3 by -6. What is the result here? So you have, again, forget about the sign. Just take 3 and 6. So you can put 3 sticks here. 1, 2, 3 sticks. 3, and then you have 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 here. So these are 6. Then you can count the intersections, and that would be the answer. So you can change the color, and then you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So -3 times -6 would just be 18. Or you have 3 times 6 is equal to 18. And also 6 times 3 is equal to 18. That's, of course, by the rules. Or -6 times -3 is equal to 18. So that's how you do it with crossing sticks. The next example would be -4 times -4 times 9. So okay, let's look at that. So here we have -4 times 9. So what is this? So forget about the sign, just draw 4 lines. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and then this is 4. And then you draw, crossing the 4 lines, 9 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you count all the intersections of these sticks. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So you have, since this is -4 times 9, this is equal to 36, but it is negative because you are multiplying a negative and a positive number. This is also equal to 9 times -4. This is also -36. Sorry for that. It's -36. And this is also equal to 4 times -9, equal to -36. And then you have -9 times 4 is also -36. If you multiply a negative number to a positive number, that's negative. Then the last one would be -8 times -6. So -6 times -8. What is the result here? So you have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. And then you cross 8 lines on the horizontal lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8. 8. So you can count the intersections now. This is time consuming, but if you do it correctly, you get the answer perfectly. So you can count the intersections: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So, since you are multiplying two negative numbers, negative 6 times negative 8 is equal to 48. A positive number. So this is also equal to 6 times 8 equals 48. Or 8 times 6 is equal to 48. Or negative 8 times negative 6 is equal to 48. So I hope you now learn that one. And again, if you do it repeatedly, you will know the process, and then you'll be a multiplication expert. So let's proceed with this. Let's proceed with completing the tables here. So you have here a multiplication table with blanks here. So let's start with, what is this one? What is 1 times 1? 1 times 1 is, by the rule, is just equal to 1. And then 1 times 2 would be 2. So any number multiplied to 1 would be just the same number. So in this case, you have 1 times 2 equals 2, 1 times 3 equals 3, 1 times 4 equals 4, 1 times 5 equals 5, and then 1 times 6 would be 6, and then 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 8 equals 8, and 1 times 9 is, of course, 9. Here you have any number multiplied to 0 is 0, and then 2 times 1 equals 2, 2 times 2 equals 4. Actually, you are just counting here by 2. So 0, 2, 4, 6. So 2 times 2 equals 4, and then 2 times 3 equals 6. Or you can do it by crossing sticks. That's the easiest way to know the product of two numbers. 2 times 4 would be 8, because you're counting by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And then you have 10 for 2 times 5. 2 times 6 would be 12. 2 times 7 would be 14. 2 times 8 would be 16. You're counting by 2s. 2 times 9 would be 18. And then you have here 3 times 0 equals 0, 3 times 1 equals 1, 3 times 2 equals 6. You're counting by 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. Then 3 times 4 equals 12. 3 times 5 would be 15. And then 3 times 6 would be 18. 3 times 7 would be 21. Because 3 plus 18 would be 21. And then you have 3 plus times 8 equals 24. And then 3 times 9 equals 27. Here you have 4 times 0 equals 0. 4 times 1 equals 4. 4 times 2 would be 8. You're counting by 4. So you add 4 to 4, and then that's equal to 8. So 4 times 3 would be 12. 4 times 4 would be 16. 4 times 5 would be 20. And then 4 times 6 would be 24. And then 4 times 7 would be 28. And then 4 times 8 would be 32. Because 28 plus 4 is 32. And then 4 times 9 would be 36. Then you have here 5 times 0 equals 0. You have here 5 times 0 equals 0. 5 times 1 equals 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. You're counting by 5. 5 times 3 equals 15. So you are 0, 5, 10, 15. The next one will be 20. So that's 5 times 4. And then you have 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 was 30. 5 times 7 would be 35. Because you add 5 to 30, that's 35. And 5 times 8 would be 40. 5 times 9 would be 45. So, was that easy? So, this is 16. The next are, these are the most important numbers that you can deal with in the multiplication. So 6 times 0 would be 0. 6 times 1 would be 6, and then 6 times 2 would be 12 because you're counting by 6 here. So you have 0 plus 6 equals 6. 6 plus 6 would be 12. And then 6 times 3 would be 18 because 12 plus 6 is 18. And then 6 times 4 would be 24 because 18 plus 6 is 24. And then 6 times 5 would be 30. 6 times 6 would be 36. Then 6 times 7 would be 42. And then 6 times 8 would be 48. And 6 times 9 equals 54. And then 7 times 0 would be 0. And then 7 times 1 would be 7. 7 times 2 would be 14. 7 times 3 is, so you have to add 7, that's 21. And that's actually equal to 3 times 7 here. So, next one is 7 times 4 is 28. Then you have 7 times 5 equals 35. That's 5 times 7 equals 35 also. And then you have 7 times 6 equals 42, 7 times 7 equals 49, 7 times 8 equals what? 56. Because 49 plus 7 equals, you're counting by 7 here, 56, and then 7 times 9 would be 63. Then we have for the 8, we have 8 times 0 would be 0, 8 times 1 would be 8, you're counting by 8 here, so 8 times 2 would be 16 because 8 plus 8 would be 16, and then 8 times 3 would be 24 because 16 plus 8 is 24. So you have, see, 8 times 4 would be 32, and then 8 times 5 would be 40, 8 times 6 would be 48, 8 times 7, which is just the same here as 56, 8 times 8 equals 64, and then 8 times 9 would be 72. And then you have 9 times 0 equals 0, 9 times 1 equals 9. You're counting by 9s here. 9 times 2 would be 18 because 9 plus 8 plus 9 is equal to 18. And then you add 9 to 18, this is equal to 27. So 9 times 3 is equal to 27. 9 times 4 would be 36. Then 9 times 5 would be 45, 9 times 6 would be 54, 9 times 7 would be 54 plus 9. That's 63. Then you have 9 times 8 equals 72, 9 times 9 equals 81. And finally, you have multiplication of 10. So 10 times 0 would just be 0, 10 times 1 would be 10. Times 2 will be 20. Of course, this will be 30. So 3 times 10 would just be 30. And then you have 10 times 4, 40. 10 times 5 equals 50. 10 times 6 equals 60. And then you have 10 times 7 would be 70. 10 times 8 would be 80. And 10 times 9 would be 90. So what can you notice here? You're multiplying 10 to the number. And then you just add 0 to the next of that number. So like here 1, and then you add 0 here, then that becomes 10. So it's just like for 100 times 1, this is just equal to 100, or 100 times 5, this is just equal to 500. Or if you have 1000 times 42, this is just equal to 42,000. You have 3 zeros there. You just put the 0 on the right side of the numbers. So if you have 100 times 50, for example, so this is equal to 5, then you have 3 zeros. That's how easy to multiply. That is how easy to multiply. So anyway, the completed multiplication table I will show you here. So this one is the completed multiplication table. The only thing to remember is actually 1 times 5. This you have to remember. 2 times 5, which is equal to 10. 3 times 5 equals to 15. 4 times 5 equals to 20. 5 times 25 equals 25. 6 times 5 equals 30. 7 times 5 equals 35. 8 times 5 equals 40. 9 times 5 equals 45. And 10 times 5 equals 50. That's what you have to remember, because, like, for example, you know that for example, you're asked 8 times 7, for example, but you know that 8 times 5 equals 40. So 8 times 6 would be 48, because you just add 8. 8 times 7 would be, just add 8 here, it would be 56. So that's just that. And of course, you have to remember this. 8 times 5 would be 40. So now, how about 8 times 2? Well, of course, you know that 8 times 5 is equal to 40. To 40 here. 40. And so 8 times 4 would be, you have to subtract 8 here, 32. And then 8 times 3 would be, you have to subtract 8 from 32. This is 24. And then 8 times 2 would be 16. So that's how easy it is. Or for example, you have 9 times 6, for example. 9 times 6. You know that 9 times 5 equals 45. So you have 9 times 6, therefore you just have to add 9 by 45, so that's 54. How about 9 times 3? So you know that 9 times 5 is equal to 45, and so 9 times 3 would be, so 9 times 4, 9 times 4 would be 45 minus 9, this is equal to 36. Then 9 times 3 would be, you have to subtract 9, that's 27. So you know the trick, you know the drill. You're now an expert of multiplication. So you have another type of multiplication table here, which I can show you. Here you have a square or a grid that has numbers. Here you have you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. So when you multiply 3, in this column, by the way, in this column you're counting by 1. In this column you're counting by 2. In this column you're counting by 3. In this column counting by 4, 5, 6, and so on. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then in this row, you're counting by ones. In this row, you're counting by 2. In this row, you're counting by 3. In this row, you're counting by 4. 5 on this row, 6 on this row, 7 on this row, 8 on this row, 9 on this row, and 10 on this row. So that's how it was constructed. I don't know the history of this, but um, it's quite clever. It's very concise, and you will know everything. So for example, here you have 5 times 4. This would just be 5 times 4 going here, so you have 20. Or 7 times 3, for example, so you have the 3 here, and then the intersection of 7 and 3 would be 21. And then when you have 8 here times 7, the intersection of 7 and 8 would be 56 here. So that's how it's used. So in the next episode, we'll be multiplying large numbers and the traditional way and some other ways which you can do multiplication faster. So don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share the video to help others. And watch out for our new math video very soon.